Hello, hello, hello. It is your girl Rachel Rowe coming to you with another episode of You Ain't Crazy. You Ain't Crazy is a podcast where I give support and validation to individuals who have found themselves in a narcissistic relationship. You don't know exactly what's going on or anything like that, and just bear with me as I continue to learn how to work both devices at the same time, my podcast and my YouTube channel. As I state all the time, what's most important is that I get this information out there to you guys, those who have found themselves in a narcissistic relationship. I am a um, relationships mediator and a relationships coach. There's so many different names, guys. Bear with me for these things. And I'm so informal that it's more important to just help individuals, all the titles and all of that kind of stuff. It's not important. I help people mediate through their relationships issues. I serve as a mediator with helping them to really just have some kind of fairness where both parties feel heard and just kind of knowing where to take it from there. Each case is different, guys. So there you have it. I'm not any formal person. I am a thriver from being in a 5 year narcissistic situationship, marriage, relationship. I mean, I went through it all, not knowing exactly what I was dealing with. And when I came through it, I'm like, wow, that was crazy. And the fact that I made it through, yes, for sure. I know I'm supposed to make sure that I'm doing my part with raising awareness against this personality disorder, guys. I am not a psychiatrist, psychologist, therapist. I say it all the time or anything of the like. I'm giving you my personal experience. I'm telling you different things that has happened to other people. We all have had similar experiences. If you don't believe me, just listen to the stories out there. I'm doing my part because it's just a responsibility and a journey that I'm on to help victims and survivors, to motivate them too and give you just encouragement, and letting you know, just pulling that inner strength out of you, the strength that you have inside of you, to help you to understand that you're nobody's doormat, and to let you know you ain't crazy, because that was one of the things that I had to deal with and come to grips with when I was going through everything I was going through. I just felt like, am I dealing with, I know you're a real person, but you don't act like it. And this is some stuff that I've just never encountered before. So with all that said and done, I come up with different topics that I just think of on my own. There are topics that I get from in my email, whether it's from Quora, whether it's from other places, where people will come up with their questions, and a lot of people give responses to their questions, give answers and things like that, so that it can help them to feel validated when they know that they're going through something. So today's topic is, let me go back and see what this question was that came into my email. And it says, what do narcissists do to control you? That was one of the questions. What do narcissists do to control you? And that's what I want to touch on a little bit. Instead of me typing a response and all of that, I feel like it's important to put it out there in the social media world, because there are thousands of people who might have that same question as to what will a narcissist do to control you. So from my experience and my opinion as well, it was a situation that is a process. It's a process because the narcissist knows exactly what they're doing. Everyone knows but you. You didn't get the memo. They know exactly what they're trying to do to break you down, to hurt you, to get you. And that's all a part of the love bombing phase. The love bombing phase is when they're making you think that like they're your best friend. You understand them, they understand you, like you're all on the same page. You're thinking that you're dealing with a healthy minded person, which is why don't beat yourself up when you find out that it was all a facade, that it was all fake, and this person was only doing to you what they thought they needed to do to keep you. So what things that they do to control you, it's basically gain your trust. And how do they gain your trust? By love bombing you, because you're thinking that they're everything. You're thinking that you can talk to them, you can tell them your vulnerabilities, you can share your inner thoughts with them, your innermost thoughts with them. You're thinking that you can, rely on them with different things, like they'll never turn against you, when it's quite the opposite. It's like, an animal turning against you, and that's what they'll do. And it's so crazy. It's such a crazy personality because, again, you're not going to know that you're basically being baited in, that they're luring you in, which is why when you do finally see it, you got to get the necessary help that you need, should you need some help, because, again, it's not going to get any better. So back to, what do they do to control you? They isolate you. How do they isolate you? By making you think like they're your best friend, and you're going to feel like, wow, I've never met anybody like this. I'm so glad to be able to have someone in my life who trusts me and I trust them, and we trust each other and we can rely on each other, and our parenting skills are alike. We have the same morals and values and all of that kind of stuff. Like, you're really, really believing this stuff. And unfortunately, it's not real. It's all fake. So that's where you got to be strong. And that's why people will see so many strong people who they thought were strong, and you really still are strong. Don't take that away from yourselves. It's just one of those things where you can get blindsided. I used to say it all the time. Damn, you keep blindsiding me. I didn't see this coming. How could I not see it coming when I thought I was pretty decent with being a good judge of character? How did I miss this? So I had to look at it and be like, if someone is faking, how would you not miss it? You know, you're taking someone at face value. And if you're taking them at face value, you're not going in feeling like, oh, let me look out to see if you're a narcissist. Let me look out to see if you're lying. No, I'm taking you for as you're coming. I'm going to believe whatever it is, especially if it makes sense, if you're backing it up with action at the time, even though they can't sustain it. But again, how do they begin to control you in a sense? Their niceness. They're going to act like they're all in and they're so kind and all of that. You're going to trust them. You're going to tell your family members about them. And guess what they're doing? They're telling their family members about you a lot of the times, which makes you think they really are serious. They're telling friends, but their family, they know. They know that you're just another number, and they do it all the time. They come through with this person that they say they're so in love with, and they're so this and they're so that, like mine did me. Oh, I'm not going anyplace. Look at her. This is who I would stay with. Why would I want to spend my time anywhere else? That's to gain your trust. They're going to do everything in their power, however much work they got to do. They're going to do all of that. Anything that they need to do to get you in, they're going to do it. So when people be acting like narcissists don't do this, and they treat you mean and they treat you bad, they don't do that shit in the beginning. They make sure they will do extra. Some people are like, well, how did they get you and I didn't? Because they knew exactly what to do. And you can't knock yourself for it. Anybody who find themselves in this kind of situation, don't beat yourself up. Why didn't I know about this? Why couldn't I have seen it? Because somebody was putting on a fake face. How would you not see it? It's a personality disorder. People can't act like somebody else. They can show up being somebody else. And if they're spending money and they're spending their time and they're sitting there and they can cry, they can laugh, they can share stories, they can come through, they just can't sustain it. That's how you know it's a personality disorder, because when that shit starts to shift and you're wondering, like, well, you were once cool. What happened? They're telling you how much they love you, everything that they love about you, all of that, you're trusting it. So if you're trusting it and you're telling family members how great this person is, and then when they begin, the very people that you introduced them to, all of a sudden they have a problem with them. Before they get the problem with you, they're going to start having a problem with your family members or your close friends, whoever those people are in your circle that they know can be influential over you. Those are the ones they want to get rid of. But later, those are going to be the ones they're going to triangulate you with. It's such a confusing situation to be in. That's why when you do find out and you start connecting the dots, you got to trust what you see and not make excuses for it at all, especially when you have children. I say that over and over again, because now you're not only responsible for yourselves, you're responsible for a kid, and you cannot allow the narcissist to just keep playing tricks with your mind. So when you begin to see it as you do your research and you're seeing something's not adding up, how can a person be so kind, generous, loving, caring, and then flip it? And now you're just the opposite. The very things that you told me, you told everybody how much you loved me and what you loved about me, are the very things you saying you're hating now. Like, that makes no sense. We ain't even got to try to make it make sense. However, what they do, and some people find themselves in it, the narcissist has either turned you against people, telling you this person, they're not your friend. They'll even tell you your mama not your friend, or your sister, or your brother, or your best friend is not your best friend. And they'll try to find a reason to make you think and get in your head that they're not about you. This can be a person, especially if it's your mother or father, or somebody who's always been in your corner. They will turn it around to make you think that that person is no longer your friend. They don't care about you. They don't like you. It can be even your job. They'll tell you your boss don't like you. Anything that they think gives you peace, gives you security, they're going to make you think that that's not your security. They don't like you. They don't think anything of you. So if they begin to push all of those people away from you and pull you in away from all of those people, that's how they get to control you. And that's their mission. That's their supply. That's the work that they feel the need to have to put in. And it's so crazy, back to it being a personality disorder. People literally, and I had to learn that. I'm like, y'all literally take the time to do all of that? That's a lot of work. But that's how a narcissist is. That's how they fuel their need. That's how they fill their emptiness, by bringing somebody else down. So they go after people who are up here. They go after you. And once they feel like, if the challenge is on, oh yeah, they're going to put in the work. If you're a hard supply, they're going to put in the work. Whatever that looks like. If that means buying you things, if that means listening to you, making you think that they're showing up, emotionally, that they're listening to you, and all of that. When you got somebody who's telling you all of these people who were once okay with you, that person's not good, that person's not good for you, that person's not good for you, that person's not your friend, that person's not your friend, your mama's not your friend, your daddy's not your friend, your sister's not your friend, your brother's not your brother, nobody, none of these people like you but me. You automatically should know that's a red flag. You never had issues with any of these people. Now all of a sudden, nobody likes me. So they're going to make you think nobody likes you. And all along, they're going to act like the great savior. Come to me. I like you the most. You see, I'm the person that you can rely on. Nobody's going to treat you like I treat you. Even if they don't say that, which very often they won't, however, their actions is going to say that. Some of them will, some of them won't. But their actions is going to make you feel like they're the only ones who love you. Your children don't love you. Nobody love you but them. That's all to control you, because the only thing they're trying to do is get you away from your support. How do they get you away from your support? Doing all of those things, by love bombing you. So what you got to do to protect yourself, don't get so caught up in the love bombing. Don't buy into it like that. You got to, from what I understand and from what I needed to do, it's in this journey that I'm on, making sure I don't find myself in another one of those situations, making sure I don't, I look at the red flags. When somebody comes in, and I used to be like, how are you going to talk about my child when, I thought they were like your little ace in a hole. Like, I thought you were good. Because even though my children are adult children, this person came in as if, they're solid. And my son, especially one of them who lived with me at the time, he was like, yeah, he real cool. He real cool. And then I began to see certain things where my son would entrust certain things with him that this man would tell me. And I'm like, that's not cool, because if he confided in you and it ain't nothing that's life threatening, why are you telling me? That's not cool. It should be between, unless it's something that's threatening, it should be between you and him. Not to mention, he would say certain things, that went against my child. And I'm like, again, if you are his friend, why would you be saying these things? So basically, it showed me right there, but I ignored the red flags. I thought it was kind of off, because again, how you going to act like you're somebody's homeboy up front, or friend, or dad, whatever way he's looking at you, but you're supposed to be some kind of confidant, mentor, whomever that he looks up to, but even considers you a friend as well, because he's a grown man. At the end of the day, a young man, but he's still a grown man in his 20s. So if he's trusting you, and you're turning, and not to mention friends. Don't let me have a friend who has a problem with him and he drank a lot. So anybody who even said something about his drinking being a concern to them for my best interest, which they should have, oh no, I better not let him know. Most of the times I would keep it from him because I had to learn the hard way. The minute I say something, all of a sudden you're going to have a problem whenever I'm going out with that friend. You're going to have a problem with them coming over. You don't want them over here no more. You don't want them in your house. Or if I go out with them, you treated me wrong. So they'll treat you wrong if you still, because they'll be like, look, I'm not trying to control you. Yeah, but if I go with them or go out with them, I got to come home to pure hell. I got to come home and get the silent treatment, or you being upset or not agreeing, no longer agreeing with something that you once agreed to. It can be you planned a trip and now they changed their mind because you went out with somebody that they didn't like, knowing the person didn't do anything to them. So what they do is, again, I don't want to make this long, but the way that they control you is by love bombing you first, and whatever that looks like for you when they're love bombing you. And as we all know what love bombing is, if you don't know, it's when they're doing everything that looks right for you. Anything you said you wanted, they're going to try to do it, or do it anyway, and go above and beyond to get it done. Like, um, putting mine when he first met me, like he was just so kind. He put tires on my car, like my tires, I needed new tires, and I was good with it. It wasn't like I couldn't get to where I needed to go because I didn't travel much. However, I was going to just take care of it when the time came for me to do it. It wasn't a priority. I got things I need, other things I need to do. And he's like, oh no, you shouldn't have bald tires on your car. I'll take care of that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so nice. Thank you. No, don't thank me. Thank God. Thank God. I just want to be the man that God would have me to be. Thank Him. I'm like, oh my gosh, he is so cool. He's so nice. So with situations like that, doing things for my son. My son, one son was away at college and he needed his help before, like, look, can you come and get me, or can you do this? He paid the money to get him to, I mean, he went and got him at one time. Another time, he helped him out by giving him the money to split the cost with other roommates at the college dorm. Like, he would do stuff like that all of the time, but it was all things that when shit began to go south, it was, remember what I did? Remember what I did? I did this and I did that and not this and not that. It's like, whoa. So all of those times you were doing that, you were just building up, you're putting in your investment, like building up to be able to say, hey, I did all of this for you. How dare you talk to me that way? How dare you stand up for yourself? How dare you tell me that you don't like what I'm doing, or you got a problem with me? How dare you have any problems with me? So you're not able to say anything. They just want to isolate you. If you say something, you're damned. If you don't say anything, you're damned. If you go somewhere, you're damned. But meanwhile, they can do whatever they want to do. So who wants to sign up for that, guys? Who wants to sign up for it? So again, that's how they control you, by isolating you. And I'm gonna wrap this up. They isolate you from everybody who's supportive of you. That's how they control you. So anyone who comes in your life, or who is in your life, and they're telling you that all of these people who are always in your life, all of a sudden they're bad. And nobody's perfect. So anybody can be in somebody's life and may do something that looks like they're wrong in them to some degree. But a lot of the times before the narcissist got into your life, you were able to just be like, you know what, I'm sorry, misunderstanding, we're good. When the narcissist is there, oh no, they want to make you feel like it's the worst thing ever. It's an unforgivable sin. They hate you, they this, they that. Meanwhile, the narcissist is going behind your back talking to them, telling them that you're crazy, telling them that you need to get yourself together, telling them how much they love you, but you can't get it together. But then come back to you and tell you how bad they are and how much they don't love you or like you. And that's all triangulation. So that's the sick shit behind fooling around with a narcissist, because they do want to control you. They will not stop until they get you where they want you. And if you do not want to be got, don't buy into it. And if you've already been gotten, get yourself out of there. And if you have a child, you know you better get out of there. If you have children, because you deserve to show up for your kids. And I say it in most of my episodes, if not all of them. Do not allow yourself to get caught up in the web of a narcissist doing all of that craziness, traumatizing you, all of that abusive shit, toxic shit towards you and against you. You deserve better. They need to get themselves some help. And if they choose not to, which they probably won't, that is not your problem. You don't deserve it. And I say it again, if you have children that you're responsible for, show up for your kids. Love on them. Don't battle with the narcissist. Don't go back and forth with them. Do your research. Do your research. Because people will only do to you what you allow them to. And if they can control you, they're going to. And if they can't control you, they're not going to stop trying. So, if you got kids, you ain't got time to be going back and forth and trying to change an adult. You just don't have that kind of time, or you're going to find yourself raising a problematic child or a child who's going to have a mental disorder. You don't want to do that. I'm sorry, I was looking at my computer. You don't want to do that. So to wrap this up, because I've been talking for about 21 minutes now, do yourself a favor. Get yourself out of that situation. Get yourself some help if you're having a problem with getting out of the situation because you feel like you're confused and you just need to stay there. You can send me an email if you need any kind of resourceful information or a one-on-one. You can send it to youaintcrazy, CRAZEY, @gmail.com, or drop a comment in the comment section on my YouTube channel. I can help you. I can get you some help, whatever the case may be. My rates are very affordable because it's more important to me to make sure you understand what you're in and to give you any kind of support you need to answer any questions you might have if you're confused with understanding what you've gotten yourself into, because it's a real situation. It's a real situationship, and you can't always do it on your own. You definitely can't go talking to someone who's a narcissist and thinking that they're going to reason with you, because they're not. They may lie if they really don't want you to leave, or they may just devalue you and tell you how bad you are, because that's the mission. They want you to feel bad about yourself. They want you to feel so broke down that the only person that you think will even tolerate you is that sick narcissist. They want you to really believe that. And if they can get in your head by telling you all of these things about who don't want you, who don't like you, what you're not, what you are, and you've never had that issue before, that's what they're going to do. That's exactly what they're going to do. So you got to think enough of yourself to say no more. I won't tolerate this. And this is why I do what I do. This is why I'm here to raise awareness about this personality disorder, that you don't allow yourselves to stay in it or get in it in the first place, that you think enough of yourself, that you don't allow anyone to mistreat you, and that's man or woman. Don't allow anyone to break you down, making you think that you ain't shit, because they're the ones who ain't shit. Don't you do that. You are bigger and you're better than that. And if I have to get on here every day, every other day, whenever I can, to keep preaching this message, to keep raising awareness about this sick personality disorder that all of these folks are walking around with without getting themselves any help, I'm just over it. Don't sit home and cry and weep and lose yourself and get depressed over somebody else not thinking enough of you. Think enough of yourself. No matter what. Think enough of yourself. You have the power within you to get out of that situation. Tap into your resources and stop going back to the person who hurt you. Stop going back to the person who traumatized you in the first place, thinking that they're going to give a damn about you and help you out of it. That ain't happening. Don't trust them. Don't go back telling them, oh, you're a narc and you're this and you're... For what? Don't do that. Because they're going to twist it around, make you think that you're losing it and that you're crazy, and they're going to tell you that you're everything that you're saying they are. They're going to manipulate the counselor or the therapist, and they're not going to apologize to you. If they do, it's a fake ass apology for their own gain. Trust that. Anything a narcissist does is for their own gain. It has nothing to do with you. Believe that. Look at the symptoms. Look at all of the different things and the traits that they say a narcissist is. And if the person checks the boxes, then it is what it is. Call a thing a thing. Don't make excuses for them. And if you have a codependent type of personality, you got to get yourself some help again. So I'll leave it at that, guys. I wish you the best. This one was a little long, but I'm very passionate about this thing because I'm tired of seeing people allow other people to mistreat them. And then they feel like, there's no hope for them. They don't get it because they don't value themselves enough. And like I said, it can go man or women, either or. Don't buy into it. But very often you find women in these situations. So you got to think enough of yourself. So your girl Rachel Real is out. Peace and blessings to you. Those are just some of the things. It can be more, but ways that a narcissist will try to control you. And the main thing is they want to isolate you from all of your friends and family, anybody who supports you. They want to turn you against them and them against you. And then guess what? The narcissist is going to make their way around to befriend them. That's what they do. So then so that really will make you crazy because it's like, you're the person who caused this. You're the person who said they didn't like me and told them I don't like them. And meanwhile, you're the common denominator through this whole thing. Next thing you know, they're talking to you. So now I'm feeling like I ain't got no other friends but you, the very person who's hurting me. So that's the triangle, guys. That's what they do. And keep in mind, if that's their personality and there's no way to change it, it's who they are. So why would you expect for them to be different? Your personality is your personality. Their personality is their personality. So it is what it is. And on this video, if I look like I'm looking down, it is because I have a new camera. So I'm kind of like, I don't know how it's positioned or what have you. So again, guys, I don't know. I'll get it together. I am the tech girl. I'm not a tech person, but I don't want to hold this information from you guys any longer. So I'm trying to have it on YouTube as well as on my audio podcast. I'm trying to do the visual thing as well. But again, it's more important to me that I feel that I definitely come forward. So just bear with me if I look like I'm looking down or up or what have you, That's just the way that it is, guys. So your girl Rachel Real is out. Peace and blessings to you. Love you much. Let's see. I'm looking down. This is a mess. All right. Bye. Bye, bye, bye.